It's no secret the world has a certain obsession with celebrities. Whether you love or hate them, you probably have an opinion about whatever celeb is making headlines any given day. And Angelina Jolie have been doing since breaking into Hollywood. They are beautiful, rich, and now they have a family together. While we all know their love wasn't built to last, we do know that they are both focused on raising their children as best they can. In this video, we're going to show you how they're doing it. From jet-setting around the world to how they're coping with their parents' divorce, you won't want to miss what the Jolie-Pitt kids are up to. The relationship between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie was one of the most significant relationships in Hollywood for over a decade. And when it started, the two came with their fair share of baggage. Brad had a wife, Jennifer Aniston, and Angelina had her adopted son, Maddox. But as we all know, this wasn't enough to keep these two lovebirds apart. After working together in the summer of 2004, Brad and Angelina fell madly in love with each other. So much so that Brad had to break the news to Jen Aniston, and by 2005, America's sweethearts called it quits. The scandal spread like wildfire thanks to tabloids, and soon, the Team Jen and Team Angelina debate divided Hollywood. Needless to say, the early days of Brangelina were pretty rough, but everyone was addicted to the new power couple. As time went on, it seemed like Brad and Angie had everything: the money, the looks, and a family life that people could only dream of. They had 3 adopted children and 3 biological children, and each time they added on to their family tree, the world became even more obsessed with the loving couple. But who could have known there was trouble in paradise? While it's important to know where all the Jolie-Pitt children came from, and we'll get to that in a sec, we know you want to take a glimpse into their lavish lifestyle. Don't worry, we got you covered. From the private jets to the lavish vacations, the Jolie-Pitt kids are living the high life. We're also going to take a look at what life is like now that their parents aren't together. Though it may have broken the heart of America that this Hollywood couple didn't last, according to sources, it's much better for the kids. Now, let's refresh your memory and take a look at each of the Jolie-Pitt kids. First up, the firstborn of the bunch, Maddox Siobhan. Maddox was born in Cambodia in 2001, and Angelina made worldwide news when she planned on adopting him in 2002. At the time, she was married to actor Billy Bob Thornton, who also claimed they were adopting Maddox together. They split 4 months after the adoption was final, and it was confirmed that Angie was the sole parent. She ended up being a single parent to Maddox, but not for long, as Brad came along a few years later. Brad officially adopted Maddox in 2006. According to sources, the eldest of the Jolie-Pitt crew wants to follow in his parents' footsteps. He plans on having a career in the film industry and has already helped his mom as a production assistant on her movies. Next up, we have the second-born, Zahara Marley. Angie's first daughter was born in Ethiopia in 2005. She was 6 months old when the actress adopted her from an orphanage in her home country. Now that she's in her teens, she too has her eyes set on stardom. According to sources close to the family, Zahara wants to be a model when she grows up, and with those looks and connections, we're pretty sure she has a good shot. While she has her heart set on being on the cover of magazines, she's already made her film debut. The teen had a minor voice acting role in Kung Fu Panda 3. Now let's take a look at the baby who shook Hollywood when her mother announced she was pregnant with her, Shiloh Novell. She was the first biological child of Brad and Angelina, and by all accounts has won the genetic lottery. Shiloh was born in Namibia in 2006, and let's just say, when she was born, it was worldwide news. Angelina was smart enough to cash in on the whole thing too. It's reported that the new mom scored over $3 million when she posed for tabloid photos with her newborn, which she donated to charity. While she's still making headlines these days, it's mostly because of the way she dresses. Brad and Angelina have come under fire because of Shiloh's short hair and her tomboy style. But according to Ange, she did the same thing when she was her daughter's age. Next up, Pax Thien. Pax was born in Vietnam in 2003. This makes him older than Shiloh and Zahara, but he didn't actually join the family until 2007. Brad and Angelina were technically together when Pax was adopted, but Ange did so on her own. Brad officially adopted him in 2008, considering he was already a toddler when he was adopted. He has found living a life in the public eye to be a little awkward, but that hasn't deterred him from exploring his extraordinary talents. According to his mom, Pax loves music and is trying his hand at DJing. Finally, we have 2 more Jolie-Pitt kids who rocked the world when Ange became pregnant with them. The Jolie-Pitt twins, Vivienne Marceline and Knox Leon. The world was already obsessed when the couple announced they were expecting another baby. But when everyone found out they were having twins, it was complete pandemonium. Vivienne and Knox were born in France in 2008. Compared to their other siblings, they've stayed mostly out of the spotlight. Except for that one time, Brangelina banked a hefty $10 million deal with Hello magazine for a cover photo with the twins. Yet again, the money was given to charity, this time to the Jolie-Pitt Foundation. Considering they are still pretty young, these two haven't followed in their parents' and siblings' footsteps just yet. But we're not too worried about that, there's still plenty of time. So we've covered their relationship and their kids, so we know you're all caught up with Brangelina. That being said, as shocking as the relationship was in the first place, it was even more shocking when Brad and Angelina announced their separation. Seriously, you might also remember where you were the day the news spread back in 2016. What many people didn't know was that a lot was going on behind the scenes, and the kids had to bear witness to it all. After they split, details of what the family dynamic was really like started popping up in tabloids. Angelina filed for divorce in September 2016, saying she was doing so for the health of the family. Soon after, reports of an FBI investigation spread, and the world was shook to learn about Brad's drinking and the possible abuse of his children. Thankfully, it turned out there was no wrongdoing on Brad's end, but it wasn't enough to keep the couple together. In the 2 years since Ange filed for divorce, it's been a battle to the end for custody of the children. This has obviously affected the Jolie-Pitt kids. When it first happened, Angie refused to give Brad any leeway when it came to the kids. She filed for sole custody, which was a shot through the heart for Brad. She's since eased up on this, and the two want what's best for the kids. So how are they taking it? A few months after the actress filed for divorce from Brad, she stated that it was very hard on the family. She herself was dealing with having all the kids, animals, and spotlight. Reporters asked how the family was coping, and she stated that they're just trying to make it through the day, and that it's been hard on everyone. She also claimed that her focus was on the children, and that she hoped they would come out a stronger family once the dust settled. And in late 2018, the dust did just that. It settled. That's because a deal was finally reached between the stars as far as the custody of their children goes. This came after a media storm where Ange claimed that Brad owed her child support. After a brief back and forth of their attorneys, a private family court forced them to come up with an agreement, or the court would do it for them. According to their attorneys, they were able to come to an agreement, which hasn't been released to the public. Now that their parents are somewhat getting along, what is a day in the life of a Jolie-Pitt kid really like? Considering they have houses all over the world, this family doesn't stay in one place for very long. Whether they're jumping from house to house in Los Angeles or jet-setting across the globe, this family doesn't have time to get too comfortable. When they're home with their dad, it's rumored that he likes to keep things neat and clean. So you can bet the kids are doing their fair share of chores. This apparently isn't the case with their mom, who doesn't mind if the kids run a little wild. By his own account, Brad is the disciplinarian of the family. The rumor mill has suggested that life without their father lacks structure. This could be because Ange is a real softie and somewhat of a pushover. Ex-nannies have said that when they're with their mom, the kids stay up late, sleep all day, and eat loads of sugary snacks. Of course, these are all just rumors. This isn't all bad though. The kids do learn some awesome things in this environment. The Jolie-Pitt gang are homeschooled. Considering the kids are from all over the world, Ange says they all learned from each other. They are even all learning different languages. In an interview for the BBC, Angelina revealed that each of her kids must learn another language other than English. According to the actress, Shiloh is learning a Cambodian language, Pax is focused on Vietnamese, Maddox is taking German and Russian, Zahara wants to learn French, Vivienne wants to learn Arabic, and Knox intends to try his hand at sign language. With such a diverse crew, there is bound to be some really cool things going down in the Jolie-Pitt household. Now, when it comes to being cool and living a luxurious lifestyle, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are top-notch. The pair is collectively worth around $500 million. That means their children are definitely living the good life, even if they try to keep them as humble as possible. Back in 2018, People magazine ran a report on just how much Brangelina spent on raising their children. According to sources, just one nanny for the kids in Los Angeles could set the famous parents back $140,000 a year. That's not even including their benefits like health insurance and travel expenses. Considering they have 2 full-time nannies, just their salaries alone can be over $250,000. This doesn't include the tutors either, which are estimated to cost Brad and Ange around $100,000 each year. Then you have to account for all those private flights they take with their parents. One ticket on a private jet is about 3 times what it would cost to fly first class, so multiply that by 6, and each two are shelling out a pretty penny to take their kids all over the world. They also have a team of security guards to keep them safe at all times. It's estimated that their security detail alone puts Brad and Angelina back over $1 million a year. Considering they're traveling all over the world at all times, it goes without saying that the ex-couple are hemorrhaging money on their kids. Ange has been spotted bringing her kids on crazy vacations to Paris and New York City. And you know, they aren't staying at typical hotels either. While they may have the most lavish surroundings, the Jolie-Pitt kids still remain grounded. They do things like the rest of us, like go to the movies with their parents, or in this case, a Netflix premiere of a film that their mom did a Q&A for after the screening. Either way, it was still a family movie night for the crew, which is all that counts. What do you think of the Jolie-Pitt kids? Sound off in the comment section below. Once you're finished, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the taco. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.